Reading some Caffeine Rage, and welcome back to the Sunday Sampler. This week we're taking a look at the Book of Demons, or as the screen would have you believe, Return to Games, a Book of Demons. This is an early access game, self-published by Thing Trunk. It's a ARPG slash card game. We'll get into that in just a little bit to show you exactly what we're talking about with that, because it is a little bit odd on how they handle the ARPG element, but they also talk about distilling ARPGs down to their base elements, so that's probably why it plays not quite how you would expect based on that mixture of genres. So, quick look at the options. Not a lot here. I will say that this game is very, very light on its system requirements, so not a lot to deal with here, and it is also a lot of 2D sprites once again. We'll get that in just a little bit. And I'm also bringing up the options just to show the version number, because I am recording this while this game's still in early access. Towards the end of its early access run, it's due to release in late 2006, early 2017. And you can see at the bottom, I'm running 0.7511161 for the version number, recording on November 19th, 2016. Just to make things perfectly clear, and yes, this is a review copy like everything else in the Sunday Sampler, so complete disclosure and talking about exactly which version I'm running. So, out of the options, let's dive into the Book of Demons. Just a quick loading screen to get going. I'm not sure how they're going to tie all the other games together, because they're talking about this being a series of 7 kind of distilled genre games, and they're talking a lot of it about being different standalone games, but I'm not sure how they're going to tie them all together with the pedestals, or if that's just a leftover from when they were all going to be DLCs and how they're going to do it in the future. But that's not really important right now. We'll take a quick look at the art style. This is reminiscent of a papercraft pop-up book, because you can see the obvious crease down the middle of all the limbs and the torso. And that's what the opening intro is this is a pop-up book of the Book of Demons, showing the adventure of, in this case, Cardell, my warrior. There are going to be 3 classes in this game. Unfortunately, the other 2 are locked right now, but what really is going to set them apart is their cards, which once again we'll get to in just a little bit. So, and there is a Daredevil Hall of Fame. Essentially, that is an Iron Man mode. You can see there, I am not playing Iron Man, so if I die, I just go back to town and I have to reclaim my stuff. So let's just go ahead and enter town. You can see all the passing through the papercraft. And welcome to town. You'll be returning to this a lot, and that's one of my criticisms of the game, is that it requires you to go back to town pretty often to do a lot of things. But real quick, let's go ahead and take a look at how the characters are built. You pick up cards in the dungeon. Some of them are revealed, some of them are unrevealed, which you can see here, which I'll get to in a bit. And some of them are these rune cards, which I'll also get to in a bit. And I'll just go ahead and put everything back. And what you do is you have a basic attack and you have a basic auto attack that's fired automatically, but it's rather weak. And what you do to build up your arsenal is to use these cards. The blue cards are spell cards, your abilities. Right now I only have access to 3 out of the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Obviously 7 right there. And you have item cards, which I only have access of 3 out of the 9. So I'll put down a health potion. And I'm going to keep the other 2 out right now, because you are able to freely swap. So this is more quick access. And then if you wanted to move things around, you could. The artifact cards is where things get interesting, because you have your health and your mana pools. Very Diablo-esque. Or pretty much a standard for the ARP genre. But the cost of these cards, well, for one, it's using these card slots, which do get progressively more expensive as you unlock them, which I'll show you how you unlock them in a little bit. Also, they have a cost associated with them. You can see 5 cost. If I equip that, you see over here, my blue mana, I lost some of it and it converted to green. The green is my, well, you can see right there, my overall cost of the artifacts I have equipped. Meaning that if I don't have a large mana pool, I cannot equip a lot of artifacts. So we'll go ahead and just put on the Amulet of Mana, which helps regenerate this. And should we put on this? This is one of the few defensive items I've gotten so far. Actually, it's in the shield are my only defensive item so far, but we'll put on the Bloody Armor for now. You can see I'm back up to using just under half my mana pool just to support the 2 artifact items that I'm using. You can also see upgrades, which we'll dive into the upgrades now. In order to upgrade the cards, you have these artifact cards, which I've just started finding about an hour and a half into the game. A character lasts about 6 hours to get through the entire dungeon, and there's no backtracking. You're always progressing forward, so that's a bit of a detriment if you want a game that you could grind on, but So to upgrade a card, you pick one, and you have to use these runes. You see, for this one, I have to use a moon rune, and it costs me 1,000 gold. So we'll go ahead and, you can see the difference. It increases the damage by 1, and it ups the stun chance by another 25%. But also throws a shockwave to nearby monsters and breaks shields, which we'll get into shields in just a little bit when we get to combat. We'll upgrade. Yes, we'll upgrade. It'll also cost a little bit more mana. We get a nice little effect. And there we go. And I also want to... Oh, I can't upgrade now. I wonder why that is. That's actually that was the first time I upgraded, and I never noticed it. Didn't know it was going to block me out of that. I'm not sure if it's limited to the number of times I could. Oh no, I go out and come back in and it allows me. So not sure if that's a bug or what, but we'll upgrade my health potion as well, which I've been using the health potion a lot, and that's once again a criticism I have of the combat. Yeah, well, it will cost more to. We'll just go ahead and do that, and you can see how it's going to cost me a truth rune and 2 others to upgrade it next time around. And it also up the amount of healing it does again. It upped it from 20 to 40 this time around, and also increases the total number of charges it has from 8 to 12. So that's that. We'll close out of that. And also we have the ability to fuse runes. Unfortunately, I've already used the couple of runes I had, but you're able to fuse 2 runes of these types together to make the next tier, the life and the death runes. You're able to fuse life and death to make a truth rune, and they get progressively more expensive. So I should have continued with this, because this requires a truth rune to upgrade. Oh, I could have just clicked that button. If I don't get lucky and get a truth rune, it will cost me 7,000 gold just to get that one truth rune, assuming that I get the drops of the moons and the suns, which is so far all I've gotten. So that's the card system. And you could also identify cards here. I showed you that I had 2 unidentified cards, so we'll do that right now. And I'm burning through my money pretty quickly, which, at least in the early game, the money is rather tough to come by. But it does get easier later on, at least according to the discussion board. So we'll just identify and see what we get. I get a pendant of some sort. An Amulet of Light regenerates hearts over time. That's actually really good. We'll just resume. And we get another artifact card. Enchant your axe with a fire element. Some creatures are weak to various elements, so that's actually really good as well. And here's the other thing. Golden keys I don't have access to yet. I'm not sure if they're just disabled because of my level or if they're not enabled in the build I'm running. I'm not far enough along to do that, but I do have the Magical Cauldron. Magical Cauldron allows you to basically unlock treasures that you find in the dungeon and also gain a little bit of extra toys. So we'll go ahead and collect prizes. Yeah. So whenever you level up, you have a choice between mana and health. And the one that you do not pick ends up here. So it allows you to gain a little bit more oomph. So we'll go ahead and collect our prizes. A health scroll, which gives me a little bit more there. Some monies. And some bonus experience. Excellent. And the bonus experience is linked to the amount of experience and not the amount of time, which we'll get into time of play in just a moment when we go into the dungeon. Now, I realize that I'm talking a lot about the systems of the game because that's really what this game is about, is its systems. And here is allows me to recharge the Death Rage, which I do like the name of it. It's a passive ability that allows me to basically have a second chance once per level, and that's per character level and not dungeon level. It also seems to have a knockback of some sort, which I haven't really figured out yet. And you're wanting to recharge my health card, or my health potion card. So yeah, that's added a little bit there. You can see the couple new cards. There's not a lot of cards that you get in this, but granted, I've only been getting a couple of the unidentified cards every single time. So let's go ahead and dive into the dungeon. Now this is where things get a little bit interesting. It's telling me to go back to town to recharge my health card, but I'm fine on that. This is the Flexoscope. Trademarked. This allows you, well, right now it's a little bit of a bad time to show you this because it's coming up on the end of the prologue chapter, but it allows you to adjust just how long the dungeon goes. So if you want a very short game, or you could just set it to that. But it feels like it's not quite as important as they lead you to believe, just because what's really the breaking point, at least it seems to be, I haven't found a real penalty to it, is the ends of levels. So cutting off here, here, or here, instead of going the entire 15 minutes, which will go the entire 15 minutes to come to the end of the level, or the end of the chapter anyway. And also you could see this. Okay, I'll get approximately 10,000 gold for this, which is enough to get another card slot. But this is the big thing. The progress to the final quest. I'll close out of this for a moment so you can see this a little clearer. You can see this long dungeon going all the way down to hell with Stucky. There is no backtracking in this. I cannot go back to the levels I've done. There is no grinding in this game. So you are making a steady progression down. So I'm assuming that someone's going to do the math at some point and figure out, what the optimal time for this is, because you can see that, this is 6% compared to 3%. But you can also see these levels are a lot bigger. So I'm not sure if going for a very big level when I'm able to do so at level 15 will be more efficient on my time-wise, or if it even matters, because this is an early access game and they are still tweaking it and balancing it. So that is something to consider. So we'll just go ahead and do 15-minute game, which is about where we are time-wise for what I want to do with this video. And we'll start game. And we'll start on the first of 3 levels. Now this is very, very mouse driven. You do have some keyboard commands with the hotkeys, but overall it's mostly mouse driven. And it looks like we are starting off right away with some combat. And for this game, saying that's an ARPG, it feels not very much like an ARPG, just because, okay, I'm playing a warrior class, but a lot of what I'm doing fighting-wise is ranged combat. And also, it feels, I hate comparing it to this, because it's a very, one of those comparisons that feels like a death blow to a game. It feels more like a mobile game, just because of how I'm having to mouse over everything and click everything. Even, yes, I realize that. Oh, picked up an ingredient there that goes to the magical cauldron, which that's a prize for when I unlock it later. Which every time you unlock the magical cauldron, it gets more expensive. Ooh, this is going to be fun. And you may notice that I'm going in these straight lines, because that is how the game is designed. It's designed to stick in these straight lines. Oh, shit. I'm frozen. I really should let it go. But because you're stuck in these straight lines, it's very, very difficult to dodge. Especially if you're in a disadvantage. So that's one of my big complaints about it. Oh, is that it doesn't feel like an ARPG. There's no dodging element. Feels very, very tanky for everything. I mean, granted, I realize I am playing a warrior, so it may be just the fact that it's the class I'm playing, but at the same time, it doesn't feel like it has. It feels like they wanted to boil down an ARPG to what they thought it was, but didn't quite hit the mark. Granted, this is still an early access title, so there is always the chance that they could rectify this in a later build. Oh, gotta get some hearts, which you get by mousing over things, and there's a charge on the health potion. Oh, but it is very, very difficult to dodge damage, and because of that, it feels like you're required to be a lot tankier than what you otherwise may need to be. Oh. And you can see I'm actually in a little bit of trouble here. This is actually the most trouble I've had with this game. A carrot to add to the magical soup. We'll take another health potion. But yeah, it's very difficult to just avoid damage in general. And a lot of times you really have no choice but to take damage. I mean, sure, you could just... Oh, we got another card. Charge. Charge forward, knocking away enemies in your way. So we already found the way down, but it does really pay off to explore. So we'll just go this way. Oh. And that's one thing, is that there's an absolute ton of achievements if you're an achievement junkie. Uh-oh. Whoa. That's a new thing that I haven't seen before. And there's a level up. Whoa. Come on. Oh, and there's a boss. That could be fun. Yeah, I'm actually taking a lot more damage here than what I intended to. Ooh, okay. I really should talk about the combat a little bit, because you can see I'm clicking a lot of ranged enemy or enemies at range, a lot more than you would expect from a from a warrior class in a ARPG. So a lot of this feels like a mobile clicker where you're having to click things. Oh, that could be bad. And break down shields and by just clicking the icons. And you may notice that some of the hearts are different colors. Well, red hearts are pretty normal. Green hearts means that the enemy, once it dies, will leave a poison cloud behind, or a poison explosion. Any enemies that has a... there's a moon rune. So there's a chance to upgrade an item later on. Any enemies that have a green heart will get healed by that explosion. Any enemies that have any other color will take damage from that explosion. Shielded enemies like this, unless I'm using my ability, you have to break the shield before you're able to damage them. Caster enemies, you're able to disrupt their spell by clicking the icon above their head. You can see how why I'm comparing this a bit to a mobile game, and it feels a little disingenuous because it isn't a mobile game, at least from what I can find. It's that you're clicking a lot of small icons rather than what you would normally be doing in an ARPG. That's why it feels a little strange. We get another charge in our health potion. And that's why I didn't really bother about charging it in town. It was that I'm getting a lot of charges anyway. So yeah, that's why it feels a little strange to call this an ARPG, at least in my opinion. I want to find those last few items. Oh, it looks like I missed a gold pile down here. And you could really get OCD about, finding items in this game. And there's really no time limit to do that. And as you play, the Flexo scope will adjust your play time, so it makes it a little bit more accurate once you get through a few gameplays, because it adjusts to, how often you just go around hunting those last couple items. In this case, I think we still have 2 items on the level. There are 2 barrels. It's telling us that. And there they are. There and there. Level clear. And down to the 2nd level. But I definitely like the effects and just the art in general. Oh, we got another moon rune. And we're actually up to full charges on our health potion. Oh, I forgot the golden hearts. Means that the enemy will summon other enemies when it gets hit. I knew I was forgetting something. Or when it loses a full heart, I should say. Okay, and you're down. Ooh, I'm taking a lot of health damage here. There's the icons I was talking about. I blocked that one, but he got one off. Yeah, it's a lot of clicking small icons rather than what you'd really expect from an ARPG. Oh, shit. Oh, didn't mean to click the mana shrine. I'm pretty sure it recharges eventually. Okay, and there we go. Got him stunned. There we go. And you're down. And health, well, recharges our health when we get the level up, thankfully. But yeah, there's just a lot of unavoidable damage because of how this guy was at the end of the track, for example. The only way to really dodge his spells was to go this way, but I never really had access to go that way. Oh, you can see the mana shrine is back refilled, so that gives you an idea of how quickly it refills. And you also see my health, my mana amulet going to work. Otherwise, I wouldn't be regaining mana. It doesn't regen automatically. As you can see, my health isn't regenerating. But I can grab a shrine or a scroll like that and a shrine to heal up. Oh, and I did level up, so. And I actually had 2 level ups, so we'll just grab one of each. Because even though I'm a warrior, having that mana pool up is very important. Oh. So let's see. Unfortunately, you don't get a map in this game. That would have been something that would have been very nice to have. Just to see exactly where you've been. Granted, you... well... The... Oh, there's a... Blasphemy mic. Whoa. Yeah, let's fall back. Yeah, I'm not sure if having the amulet or my the bloody armor is better right now, but that's something that you can try to min-max if you really wanted to. And unfortunately, these bosses have a thing where when they're transitioning, going between forms is a free action. They're immune, which is a little frustrating. So we'll just kill you. He explodes into a lot of goop, and I get another sun ring. Oh, and you can see right here, there's no chance for me to dodge those guys. Thankfully, they are squishy. For being skeletons, at least. So, there's the chest that I missed. And there's... Oh, sarcophagus, of course. And that's another level clear. I will say the music is very... Oh, I'm trying to think of the best way to put it. Adequate is probably the best way to put it, even though it sounds like I'm really dissing on the music. It's fitting. Oh. Ah, damn you. If I recall correctly, the gray means that they are unaffected by bonus damage. Ooh, that is a ice bomb. There's an ice bomb at random targets. Furthest targets first. So another item card, which is a recharger, which will probably end up finding charges up before we even use it. So there we go. Interrupter. There's a lot of achievements in this game. If you're an achievement hound, this is a really good game for you. And I'm not, so it's, you know, doesn't really matter that much to me. Oh, we got another boss here. These bosses pop up pretty frequently, as you may see. Oh. think I got him where he's going to change forms, and he is. Oh. Timid state. When you're outside of the marked range, the boss is immune. When you're near the boss, it will show slowly progress in the next life, even when you're not attacking it. So that's a new thing. Oh, shit. Wow. But yeah, you can see why I call this more of a mobile game than anything else. Oh, this is trouble. And this very... whenever you're poisoned, you have a chance to mitigate the poison just by clicking there when that gargoyle's mouth is open, by the way. That's something I never really addressed because I didn't get poisoned until this just now. Another instance where you couldn't really avoid damage there. Very frustrating.
I don't have enough mana.
Oh, well, I'm actually burning through my mana fairly quickly. Let's just go ahead and sit here for a moment while it recharges a little. Or have I passed a mana shrine? That may not be a bad thing to look for. Because it looks like this entire room just loops around anyway, so... may as well use the little bit of time to get a little bit of mana back. Yeah, it just loops around. Just wanted to make sure on that. Yeah, I'm just trying to think of anything else, really. It's hard to really give a judgment call on what I think about the game just because it, like I said, it is in early access, but also it's in late stage early access. It's... oh.
Marrow, brewing blood. Take a peek and you'll go mad.
Okay, this is new.
Kitchen's door, for the master still craves more. Underground where shines no sun, this cook's work is never done. Among screams he toils with haste, creature of most subtle taste. Cuts and chops both bone
Okay.
and gut, be it sinew, be it fat. Not an ounce of flesh he'll shun. This cook's work is never done.
The story hasn't popped up too often just yet, but it has some very good writing. That's something I really should have talked about, and even the limited voice acting has been done very well. I should have done some gossip while I was in town, which I'll do when I get back there, because I'm just about done here. So there's Mana Potion. Unfortunately, I haven't gotten Mana Potion until just now, and that's possibly a downside to how they're doing the randomization of this, is that if I didn't get Health Potion until now, I would have been in a lot more trouble to progress. So that may be something that hurts you, or they may have a weighted randomization where you have a greater chance to find certain cards on lower levels, or you'll have a greater chance to find a health potion or find a town portal pretty quickly. So we are done here, it seems. I think. That's the problem with doing a new section, is that... oh, there we go. And is this going to be a boss? Oh, it's a portal.
Foul magic. This must be some kind of portal to the lair of whatever rules this dungeon.
Well, no better time than to jump in. And it looks like I left some on the floor. I left a Uber Gargoyle and a cool archer. But, you know, I'm okay with that. Go deeper. And this shows the ending, where it allows you to get your score up and shows you everything that you've progressed. I unlocked another avatar. I got Heart of Iron. Unfortunately, I missed out on the other two results. Kill everything and clear everything because I missed out on a couple of enemies. So we'll just go ahead. Oh, I should. Oh, there we go. So it allows me to choose the next avatar that I start unlocking, which I should have went back there. Okay, and it's telling me to go back to town as well. I can purchase the cauldron contents to get 1 heart, 1 mana, and 4 random ingredients. And I also have upgrade cards, charge cards, and unlock the next card slot, which we'll go back to town just to get a little bit of the voice acting. Gossip, rare cards.
Finally, a challenge and a chance to use my knowledge for the good. These mystical cards aren't used to cheat and get money from the hopeless and naive, so of course the fortune-telling woman knows nothing about them.
You know, it's cute when they fight.
Scholars of the arcane, like the hermits of the eastern wilds, sometimes pass their secrets to those they deem worthy, like myself.
Sure, yourself.
You should know that despite their modest look, such objects can hold powerful enchantments with remarkable
Enchantment?
properties. Still, as long as their wondrous attributes remain unknown, they are completely useless. Consider yourself fortunate, as I...
Okay, and that allows me to... that's him telling you that he's able to identify cards. Unfortunately, I didn't get any unidentified cards. But I can just buy outright with 200 gold left to get my next slot. Which then I could go in and just, you know, put in, let's say, some more defense. And then I could go in and upgrade it. And this is really the core of the game. It's just, oh, that's the charge. I don't need that. Fortunately, this could take anything, so we'll just do that. Because that increases defense quite a bit. So, I don't have enough gold, so I would unfortunately, I have to make do with what I have, but oh well. This really gives you an idea of the game. I like it overall. I do have, like I said, my complaints with it. The fact that it feels like they may have missed the point of ARPGs just a little bit by boiling it down a little too much. Particularly, you know, not having the ability to really dodge damage effectively. Instead, you have to rely on getting cards like the skeleton belt and upgrading it. Like I said, the upgraded skeleton belt is a lot more effective. It decreases the accuracy, for example, or a lot of it, I believe, will be swapping out on the fly when you are able to, when you're faced with other things like the shield, for example, whenever you're facing a lot of archers. But it requires you to find the proper cards. That's where I'm getting, where I'm going with this. And that's part of the problem I'm having. It's just that the randomization may come back to bite you if you're not lucky. Assuming that they don't have it weighted properly. And once again, it is in early access, so the balance of the game is still being worked on. And it is due to release in late 2016, early 2017, at least at the time of recording in late November. But they haven't set a proper release date yet, as far as I could find online. So let's see, is there really anything else that I'm missing? And I'm not really seeing anything in my notes. And I think that's just about it, now that I look and see that I don't really have anything else really that I wanted to highlight. Overall, not a bad game. If you go into it with the proper mindset, I think you'll really enjoy it. Oh, that's right, there is a free demo of this game if you wish to try it out, if I've piqued your interest. The Steam page does have a demo, and that is actually a rarity these days, so they are standing behind their product enough to, you know, let you try it out. So that is something that you may want to take advantage of. if you aren't sure just from the gameplay if you like it or not. So I think that wraps us up for this week. As always, feedback is appreciated, particularly on the Sunday Sampler, just because of its rather random nature of what I present. And if you wish to see more of the Sunday Sampler or my other content, the Let's Play content that I produce, or the podcast that I co-host, feel free to subscribe, because those numbers are very important. Getting the subscriber count up allows me to get better review copies for better games, or more interesting games like this one. And, well, that's it. Thank you for watching, and we'll be sampling something next time. But until then, I'll see you.